Hello and welcome back to the Tech Blackboard. In this second part today, I have got the first set of 15 very latest and interesting questions for you in our AI-900 Real Exam Question and Answer series. And as always, if this video helps in your cloud journey, then please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And in case you are joining here as today for the first time or you have missed watching the first part, then I must tell you that in first part we covered a lot of interesting questions around AI-900. For example, we understood what is AI-900, who should do it, what are the exam details, what are the question format that comes in AI-900, and then I explained how to get free Azure voucher so that you can pass AI-900 for absolutely zero cost. And in fact, not only AI-900, you can use the same method to get the free voucher for other fundamental exams like AZ-900, DP-900, SC-900 and many more. Then I told you how you can schedule the exam using the Pearson VUE option. And of course, I explained how can you prepare in best possible ways for AI-900. And as always, to help you learn in the offline mode, here is the giveaway. So if you want a PDF version of this part 2 with all the questions and answers, then you have to tell me the correct answer for question number 2, question number 7 and question number 14. And not to mention, you will find all the answers to these questions in this video itself. Let's start the journey of AI-900. So let's begin our part 2 of our AI-900 Real Exam Question and Answer series. Let's read the question number 1. The question says that which AI service should you use to create a bot from a frequently asked questions document? Your options are Q&A Maker, Language Understanding or LUIS, Text Analytics or Speech Text. To answer this question, let's first understand what is a FAQ. So FAQ is nothing but a collection of questions and answers. And I'm pretty sure when I say the FAQ is a collection of question and answer, that automatically reveals the correct answer, which is none other than option A, Q&A Maker. Now let's understand what is a Q&A Maker in Azure Cloud Service. So this is the official Microsoft documentation that gives an answer to what is a Q&A Maker. Let's read out. It says that Q&A Maker is a cloud-based natural language processing NLP service that allows you to create a natural conversational layer over your data. It is used to find most appropriate answer for any input from your custom knowledge base of information. To put it in a simple language, let's say you have a custom knowledge base information about some product. To simplify this, let's take an example. Let's assume that your company sells cars. Now you would have a lot of information on knowledge base for cars. For example, their sizes, their colors, their adaptability, their models, and similarly a lot of information about cars. Now you can build a FAQ or a frequently asked question in a form of questions and answers, and then you can use this in your bot service or a chat bot that answers your customer queries. And that's exactly where the Q&A Maker comes into picture. One more important point that you should note is that Q&A Maker service is being retired on 31st March 2025. I know there is a little bit of time here, but things are moving and you should plan accordingly. Okay, so now we understand what is a Q&A Maker. Let's also understand what are the other three services. Let's begin with language understanding. Language understanding is a cloud-based conversational AI service that applies custom machine learning intelligence to a user conversational natural language text to predict overall meaning and pull out relevant detailed information. Similar to what we saw for Q&A Maker, a new version of language understanding capabilities are now available as a part of Azure Cognitive Service for the language. Moving on with the text analytics. So text analytics is used for deeper insights like identifying a pattern or trend from unstructured text. For example, text analytics can be used to understand a negative spike in customers' experience or popularity of a product. Moving on with option D, speech text. So Azure speech to text service analyzes audio in real time or batch to transcribe the spoken word into text. Also to read, out of the box, speech to text utilizes a universal language model as base model that is trained with Microsoft owned data and reflects commonly used spoken language. I totally understand it could be little overwhelming to digest all these services in the very first question. Do not worry, we will see a lot of questions around these services in upcoming slides and upcoming parts as well. Let's move on with the next question. Let's move on with question number 2. The question says that you build a machine learning model by using automated machine learning user interface. You need to ensure that the model meets Microsoft transparency principle for responsible AI or artificial intelligence. What should you do? Your options are set validation type to auto, or should you enable explain best model, set primary metric to accuracy, or should you set max concurrent iterations to 0? Let me tell you the answer and then I will give you more details around it. The correct answer for this question is option B, enable explain best model. Now let's understand what is the explain best model. So most businesses run on a trust and being able to open ML or machine learning black box. This helps in build transparency and trust. In heavily regulated industries like healthcare and banking, it is critical to comply with regulations and best practices. One key aspect of this is understanding the relationship between input variables and model output. Knowing both the magnitude and direction of the impact each feature has on the predicted value helps better understand and explain the model. With model explainability, please pay attention. This is the answer that we chose. So with model explainability, we enable you to understand feature importance as a part of automated ML run. Friends, artificial intelligence and machine learning are tricky to start with, but do not worry, things will only get more clear to you as we proceed in our series. Our question number 3 says that which scenario is an example of a web chat bot? And your options are listed here. I'm not going to read all of them to save the time, but you can most definitely pause the video here, read all the options, understand them well, and then attempt the answer. But for now, I will tell you the correct answer, which is option D. From a website interface, answer common questions about scheduled events and ticket purchases for a music festival. Coming to our question number 4, and it says that for a machine learning process, how should you split data for training and evaluation? Your options are use features for training and labels for evaluation, or should you randomly split the data into rows for training and rows for evaluation? Or should you use the labels for training and feature for evaluation? The last option is randomly split the data into columns for training and columns for evaluation. The correct answer for this question is option B, which is randomly split the data into rows for training and rows for evaluation. A little bit more on this, the split data module is particularly useful when you need to separate data into training and testing sets. So use the split rows. This is what we chose here, split rows. So use the split rows options if you want to divide the data into two parts. You can specify the percentage of data to put it in each split, but by default the data is divided 50-50. You can also randomize the selection of rows in each group and use stratified sampling. If you don't know what is a stratified sampling, this is a quick overview. So a stratified random sampling is a method of sampling that involves the division of population into smaller subgroups known as strata. So essentially what you do in stratified random sampling is you break a sampling group, a bigger group, into some smaller subgroups, and those smaller subgroups are known as strata, and therefrom the name comes stratified random sampling. If you want to read more on how to split data, then this is Microsoft official documentation. All these links that I'm mentioning in this video are available in the description box. Just sharing my quick thoughts, it's amazing to see how this artificial intelligence and machine learning world is changing very quickly. You already saw in previous slides, we talk about Q&A maker, language understanding, or text analytics, or a lot of other things. Everyone is changing very fast. Microsoft is investing heavily on Azure machine learning and artificial intelligence. And as you can see, everything is going to be changed in very near future. It's a very interesting field of artificial intelligence and machine learning. And that's why it makes more sense to learn these technologies now because henceforth their demand is only going northwards. Moving towards our question number 5, and that says which of the following is calculated probability of a correct image classification? Your options are accuracy, confidence, root mean square error, or sentiment. The correct answer for this question is option B, confidence. In question number 6, we will see our first complete the sentence kind of question. Let's read out. Ensuring an AI system does not provide a prediction when important fields contain unusual or missing value is, there is a dash here, so you have to fill a value here, principle for responsible AI. Your options are an inclusiveness, a privacy and security, a reliability and safety, or a transparency. Correct answer for this question is option C, a reliability and safety. If you want to read more on reliability and safety, then this is the Microsoft page. Scroll down a little and you will reach to a section which says reliability and safety. You can read it says that AI systems need to be reliable and safe in order to be trusted. It's important for a system to perform as it was originally designed and for it to respond safely to new situations. Now you can read the entire page. It gives you details not only about reliability and safety, but also inclusiveness, expandability, and lot more. I will give the link for this page in the description box. Coming to question number 7, and that says ensuring that the numeric variable in training data are on a similar scale is an example of dash. And to complete this sentence, you have following options. The first one is data ingestion, feature engineering, feature selection, or model training. The correct answer for this question is option C, feature selection. Coming up, our question number 8. The question says that you want to create a model to predict sales of ice cream based on historic data that includes daily ice cream sales total and weather measurement. Which Azure service should you use? And your options are Azure Machine Learning, Azure Bot, or Language. So what is the relationship between ice cream sales and weather measurement? Very obviously, people like to eat more ice cream in hot weather or summers, unless they're like me who likes to eat ice cream in cold weather. Talking about liking, are you liking this video? Then please pause the video now and give this video a like. Friends, many of you like my videos, you like the content, but you always miss to press that like button. Please understand, every like from you make sure that these videos are widespread. Additionally, it really gives me a boost and encourages me to create these free content. So help these videos to reach a widespread audience so that everyone can learn Azure for free. Now coming back, let's see the answer. The correct answer for this question is Azure Machine Learning. Now let me give you a one-liner definition of all these services. You can see here that Azure Machine Learning enables you to train a predictive model from the existing data. On the other hand, Azure Bot Service provides a platform for conversational AI. Coming to the third option, language, the language service is used for understanding and analyzing text and creating intelligent applications. And there is a good reason why I am providing these one-liners for almost all the services wherever it is possible. Because of the fact that these one-liners settle in your mind very easily. For example, if you read this one-liner definition of Azure Machine Learning, you can already relate this definition with that of question. So you can see that it enables you to train a predictive model. And what is that our question wants to predict us? Our question also wants to predict us the sales of ice cream. So you can relate these words in the question with that of one-liner definition. So I hope these one-liners will really help you spot the answer. Our question number 9 says that the interactive answering of questions entered by a user as a part of an application is an example of what? And your options are anomaly detection, computer vision, conversational AI, or forecasting. The correct answer for this question is option C, conversational AI. And the reason for picking conversational AI as answer is the fact that we are talking about interactive answering in the question. So what is a conversation? Conversation is nothing but interaction of two people or two machines or two systems in form of questions and answers. And that's the reason for picking conversational AI as answer. Coming to question number 10, the question says that you are designing an AI application that uses images to detect cracks in window panes of buildings and warns when a window pane should be repaired or replaced. What AI workload is described? Your options are computer vision, natural language processing, or anomaly detection. The correct answer for this question is option A, computer vision. Now let's look at some detail what makes option A as correct and option B and C as incorrect. So here are the details provided in this box. You can see here that the images of buildings window pane can be analyzed with computer vision and classified into groups based on windshield condition. And that's why option A is the correct answer. Coming to the option B, this is incorrect obviously because natural language processing is used to understand and analyze text and create intelligent application. So NLP cannot detect any cracks in window panes. Coming to the option C, which is anomaly detection. So anomaly detection is used to analyze data over time and identify unusual changes. And of course, this also has nothing to do with detection of cracks in Windows pane. So hopefully that clears the logic behind picking computer vision as an answer to this question. And here comes our first yes and no kind of question in question number 11. So let's read out the first statement. The statement says that you can use Q&A Maker to query an Azure SQL database. So what do you think? Is it a yes or is it a no? The correct answer for this statement is no. You cannot use Q&A Maker to query an Azure SQL database. Moving on with second statement, it says that you should use Q&A Maker when you want a knowledge base to provide the same answer to different users who submit similar question. The correct answer for this statement is yes. And then we have the third statement which says the Q&A Maker service can determine the intent of user utterance. And the correct answer for this question is no. Quickly moving to question number 12. The question says a company employs a team of customer service agents to provide telephone and email support to customers. The company develops a web chat bot to provide automated answers to common customer queries. Which business benefit should the company expect as a result of creating a web chat bot solution? And your options are increased sales, a reduced workload for the customer service agent, or improved product reliability. Simply putting it, the question is just asking you whether this web chat bot will help the company to increase sales, or will it help to reduce the workload of customer service agent, or will it help to improve product reliability. And I'm most sure that you have already guessed the answer, which is option B, a reduced workload for the customer service agent. But most surely I will give you some more details. So here you can see the first option is incorrect. Why? Because a web chat bot is just for answering the common customer queries, and this will surely not increase the sales. The second option that we saw, which is correct option, a web chat bot can most surely reduce the workload of customer service agent. And then the third option, there is absolutely no relationship between product reliability and a web chat bot. I hope this makes the answer more clear to you. Coming to our first drag and drop kind of question in question number 13. Here on the left hand side, you are given with some learning types, and on the right hand side in this answer area, you are given with some definition. So you have to match these definition on the right hand side with the learning types given on the left hand side. So let's read the first definition. So the first definition is predict how many minutes late a flight will arrive based on the amount of snowfall at an airport. Do you think it's a classification or clustering, or is it regression? And the correct learning type for the first statement is regression. Moving on, we have segment customers into different groups to support a marketing department. And for this statement, the correct learning type is clustering. Then moving on, predict whether a student will complete a university course. The correct learning type for this one is classification. To help you further, let me give you broad understanding of regression, clustering and classification. Starting with regression, we have in most basic sense, regression refers to prediction of numeric target. Linear regressions attempts to establish a linear relationship between one or more independent variable and a numeric outcome or dependent variable. And you can use this module to define a linear regression method and then train a model using a labeled data set. The trained model can then be used to make predictions. Coming to clustering, so clustering is a method of grouping data points into similar clusters. It is also called segmentation. For example, you might apply clustering to find similar people by demographics. You might use clustering with text analysis to group sentences with similar topics or sentiment. Then coming to classification, two-class classification provides the answer to simple two-choice questions such as yes and no or true or false. And if you remember correctly, the third statement of our question number 13 was asking whether the student will be able to complete the university course or not. And this is just a very simple yes and no kind of question. And that's why we chose classification for the third statement. Now let's move on. Quickly moving towards our question number 14. The question says a predictive app provides audio output for visually impaired users. Which principle of responsible AI is reflected here? The options are transparency, inclusiveness, or fairness. And the correct answer for this question is option B, inclusiveness. Now let's try to understand the logic behind picking inclusiveness as the answer. So here in this box, you can see the first one, transparency, is incorrect because transparency is all about fully communicating the purpose of the system, how it works, and what limitations may be expected. On the other hand, inclusiveness is all about how AI should bring benefits to all parts of society, regardless of physical ability, gender, sexual orientation, ethnicity, or other factors. And here, please note that our question is asking about visually impaired users, which comes in the category of physical ability. So the purpose of inclusiveness is to bring the benefits of AI to all parts of society. And that was the reason behind picking inclusiveness as the answer. Moving on, we have fairness, and fairness is about developing models and application without incorporating any bias based on gender, ethnicity, or other factors that might result in an unfair advantage or disadvantage to specific groups. Now, at first glance, you might get confused between the definition of inclusiveness and fairness because they both talk about gender or sexual orientation or ethnicity and other factors. But do not get confused. Inclusiveness just means that you are including all parts of society and you are not discriminating based on their physical ability or gender or sexual orientation, ethnicity, or any other factor. On the other hand, fairness talks about whether your AI solution is taking undue advantage or disadvantage based on these factors. So there is a difference between inclusiveness and fairness. I hope this makes it clear. If you have still some questions or confusion around inclusiveness or fairness, do let me know in the comment section and I would be more than happy to answer all of your questions. Coming to our question number 15, which is the last question for our part 1 of our AI-900 real exam question and answer series. And at first glance, this question certainly looks very daunting. But do not worry, it's a very interesting question and it will be easier as we go through. So let's read the question. The question says that you are developing a model to predict events by using classification. You have a confusion matrix for the model scored on test data as shown in the following exhibit. So this is the exhibit. You can see actual values here on top, and then on the left hand side you can see the predicted values. Now let's read the other part of the question. It says that use the drop down menus to select the answer choice that completes each statement based on the information presented in the graphic. So based on this graphic, you have to choose the answer from these drop down menus. And please note that each correct selection is worth 1 point. Now here you are presented with two drop down menus. The first one says there are correctly predictive positives and the second one says there are false negatives. Before answering this question, let's look the confusion matrix. So this on your right hand side is the confusion matrix. Now let me explain how to read this confusion matrix and how to answer the questions based on this. But before we move ahead, one disclaimer here. This table or this image will not be given in the actual question. This is just to demonstrate and explain you how we are picking the answer, but this surely will not be there in the actual exam. So you have to learn it by heart before attempting the exam. Okay, so now let's move on. On the top of the image, it is true class. Then on the left hand side, we have predictive class. Then you can see under the true class, we have positive and negative. Similarly, under the predicted class, we have negative and positive. Now, what is this combination? So this combination which says TP is what? True positive. Then we have false positive. Then we have false negative. And then we have true negative. Now let's understand how you can relate this matrix to that of the question and come up to the correct answer. So in the first drop-down menu, it says correctly predictive positives. Now coming back to the matrix, you can see on the left-hand side, we have predicted class. So predicted class is nothing but the prediction that you have done. So let's say you have done a true prediction. The first value in all the boxes of this matrix relate to the predicted class, and the second value relates to the true class. Now let's understand what actually this first box implies. So it means that you predicted a value of true for something, and then the correct or true value for that thing is also positive, which means that your prediction matches with the true value. And that's exactly what our first drop down menu says. So here you have correctly predicted value. So which box will you be in the matrix? You will be in this first green box. And what is the value of this first green box in the question? It is 11. And that's why the correct answer for the first drop down menu is 11. Coming to the second one, it says false negative. And you can easily read that false negative is here. So first one is false and then we have negative. So what's the value given in question for this red box here? It is 1033. And that's the correct value for our second drop down menu. And similarly, in the actual exam, they can change the question and probably ask you about false positive or true negative. But I'm sure that now you know how to read this confusion matrix. Friends, does this confusion matrix reminds you of some Hollywood movie? If yes, then do let me know in the comment section. And I'm not sure if you understood that Hollywood movie, but I'm pretty sure that now you understand this confusion matrix. However, if you still have some questions around this confusion matrix, then you know how to reach comment section and ask questions. I hope you like this first set of 15 very interesting questions in part 1 of our AI-900 real exam question and answer series. If you have some questions around artificial intelligence or machine learning, then do let me know in the comment section. Till we meet again, stay fit, keep learning, and thanks for watching.
If this video has added any value in your learning, a like and subscribe is highly appreciated. Share this video in your family and friends to spread and expand their learning. Your comments and feedback give me a chance to interact with you, and I look forward for them. We will meet again in our next video. Till then, stay fit, keep learning, and thanks for watching.